It's time for Around the Ozarks News, brought to you by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Kitchen Land USA, and Thompson Sales. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Forhetz.
Well, hello, and welcome to Friday. We made it. The weekend is here, and I hope you have some great plans. Looks like we're going to actually have decent weather for the weekend, which it's been a while, hasn't it? So the pools are open. And everybody will be outside enjoying the great outdoors this weekend because we can. Let's do some news, tell you what's going on around the Ozarks. A scary moment for two Greene County deputies this week. They were working on a crash on Interstate 44 when another driver crashed into one of their patrol cars, which knocked that patrol car into a second patrol car. Both of those cars had their emergency lights flashing at the time. Fortunately, though, neither deputy was hurt in that crash. Could have been really bad. The driver of the car that hit them was taken to the hospital. The sheriff's department now asking drivers to pay extra attention and be sure to move over when you see those flashing police lights. City of Republic has named a temporary replacement for city administrator David Cameron as he takes the city manager job in Springfield. The new acting city administrator is Lisa Addington, is in Republic. She's been chief of staff there. Republic is beginning its search now for a permanent city administrator. David Cameron, who's leaving, will start in Springfield on July 7th. Missouri's Court of Appeals is upholding a $611 million judgment against the maker of Roundup herbicide after finding that it causes cancer. 3 people from Missouri sued Bayer, which merged with Monsanto up in St. Louis in 2018. There are 67,000 lawsuits against the company now from people alleging that the chemical glyphosate used in Roundup to spray crops caused their non-Hodgkin lymphoma. 67,000 lawsuits. Hey, if you drive a Ford, heads up, it could be under recall. You'll be finding out very soon. Ford is recalling more than 1 million vehicles because of a software issue that prevents the backup camera from working properly and could get you in some trouble if you trust it because it's delayed in some cases. It's not good. Ford is working on a fix right now. That's not expected until the third quarter, though. The Fords affected include Broncos, trucks, Expedition, Mustang, Navigator, and more. You will be notified by Ford if your vehicle is on that recall list. And there's some good news. After extreme flooding of the Findlay River, the Ozark Mill, which sits, of course, right on the river, is open once again. It had to shut down for days because of the flooding there. Everything is now open at the mill except for the garrison, which is located downstairs in the basement of the mill. That's where the flood water was heavy duty. They have flood doors that they closed up, and those flood doors did their job and prevented major flooding in the basement. But the garrison is still not quite ready to reopen, but it will soon. And Branson is getting its first Texas Roadhouse restaurant. The chain is opening 30 new locations across the country, and Missouri is getting one of them. That will be in Branson. Missouri does have 3 other current locations: Springfield, Columbia, and Jefferson City. But it's interesting to me that St. Louis and Kansas City are not on the list. So maybe Texas Roadhouse chooses its locations wisely, or at least with strategy, and not in St. Louis or not in Kansas City. Instead, in Springfield, Columbia, Jefferson City, and soon, Branson. As the Olive Garden gets closer to opening in West Springfield, it'll be its second location in town. And a new Target is being built out there in West Springfield. That area is also getting a Dutch Brothers coffee drive-thru and a Jersey Mike's sub shop. It will be the third Jersey Mike's in Springfield, and it will be Dutch Brothers' first location in town. Another, though, Dutch Brothers location is being planned for Ozark. And We told you about the Ozarks Lunkers kicking off their second season of Arena League football tomorrow night in Springfield, out at the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds. Well, now we have the TV schedule for the Missouri State Bears football team for their very first year in Conference USA. Okay, the Bears will play 5 games in front of a national TV audience. How about that? Their first game is going to be tough. They're going to play at USC August 30th. That'll be on the Big Ten Network, so we can see that game. Their home opener will be another tough game against SMU. That will be on CBS Sports Network. They'll also play on ESPN2 at least once. We know there's the Middle Tennessee State game is on ESPN2. They'll be on CBS Sports for at least another game, and then they've got some other games on the ESPN family of networks. So good for the Bears. They're going to get a little exposure and hope they're ready for it because it's going to be tough. Next, I don't know if you saw this, but it's a wedding photo unlike any other ever, in fact. A couple in New Mexico got married recently. There was a chance for rain that day, but what they got was much more than that, and it went viral. Check this out. There you see it. That is the happy couple in the foreground. I'm explaining this for people who don't have the video podcast that they're watching, but it's a happy couple standing out in looks like the desert of New Mexico. They are kissing. Dude's got a cowboy hat on and a vest. The bride looks lovely. Behind them, though, in the background is a tornado, a very well-defined tornado. It is on the ground, touching down. It's safely behind them, and it's not a huge tornado, but it is very cool looking. So the photographer called it the most epic wedding photo ever. And, I don't think I can argue with that. You could Photoshop something better, but that's real. That actually happened behind them. And they made the best of it, took pictures because they're not right there in any danger. And to make the whole thing even better, that tornado did only minor damage and no one was hurt. So there it is, a cool wedding photo that happened last weekend. Yeah, making the rounds now on the internets. Okay, there's a lot going on around the Ozarks this weekend. Tomorrow is the annual Cox Health Kids Health and Safety Fair. That's from 9 a.m. to noon. It'll be in the parking lot of the Farrell Duncan Clinic. Lots for kids to do out there, and it is free, so you can check that out. Also tomorrow, the Show Me Reptile Show. Not for me. That's at 9:30, or it starts at 9 to 3:30. At the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds. So there's lots of scales, lots of tails, all things like that, if that's to your liking. So that is 9:30 to 3:30, Ozark Empire Fairgrounds. Also tomorrow, more up my alley, I would say, the Ozarks Food Truck Rally. That's happening. Also, interestingly, at the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds. So watch where you're stepping out there tomorrow. From 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., food trucks out there. It's a day of family fun, benefiting the Ozark Empire Fair Foundation. So a good cause. It features the best gourmet food trucks and trailers from all around the region. One-stop shopping for food trucks, which is nice. And then finally, tomorrow, from 6 to 10, you can take your dog out to the ball game. The Springfield Cardinals presenting Bark in the Park, when dogs are welcome and, in fact, celebrated at the old ball yard. There will be a best-dressed dog competition, a pregame dog parade, and I'm assuming hot dogs. I'm assuming those will be there because everybody loves a hot dog. So you can enjoy a beautiful Friday evening with man's best friend rooting on the Redbirds. So plenty to do. And if you're wondering about the weather for the weekend, make sure you stay tuned and check out Wake Up Weather with Abby Dyer. She will lay it all out for you. But I think it's going to be pretty nice. I think we have 3 days of niceness. Double check that with Abby. That is it for me on this Friday. Thank you for being with me. Sarah is expected back next week. She's doing a big race in San Francisco. It's called Escape from Alcatraz. It's a big deal. So she's out there for that triathlon and will be back with me early next week. So I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you on Monday.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Command Family Medicine and Taylor Grubaugh Chevrolet. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Friday. It's May 30th. We made it the end of the month and much nicer weather to enjoy today. It has been really a gloomy week in the Ozarks with several rain chances, and today all of that changes. However, we may be starting off a bit gloomy in some places because there's a bit of patchy fog out for the Friday morning drive. Dense fog in spots, so do be cautious of that if you live in a fog-prone area. The sky was able to clear out a little bit overnight, and some ground fog has developed. Be cautious of that on the morning drive. I don't think it lasts very long. We should burn that off in places where it's a problem by mid-morning, and then we should see the sunshine take over today. And I do have a warmer weekend in store. Patchy fog this morning, so don't forget to take it slow. Use the low beams in the dense fog conditions. Today, we have high pressure taking over, and for us, that means the sky will clear gradually, and we should see nothing but sunshine by the second half of the day. It's going to be really nice, too, in terms of temperature. We are now on the backside of a cold front, and that is going to allow for a north breeze in the forecast today. So morning numbers are starting out in the mid-50s. I have us warming to 74 this afternoon in Springfield. That's with sunshine and a north wind at about 10 miles an hour. Clear skies are in the forecast today, and we will hold on to that northwest breeze through this evening, too. If you have any Friday night plans, looks like a great evening to get out. Temperatures not too cool. And overall, what I'm looking at for the weekend forecast is a big pattern shift. We're going to be talking about summer-like temperatures returning to the Ozarks. I know last weekend the pools were open. We just couldn't use them. It was just so rainy and cold across the Ozarks. This weekend will be a different story. Summer will be on in full effect here in the Ozarks. Do be cautious if you're going to be out near any of our area waterways. I'm sure you know this if you've frequented some of the area lakes, but water levels are up. The rivers are running in a lot of places. So just be very mindful of that if you are engaging in any of those summer-like temperatures and activities this weekend. We do have an unsettled pattern that returns to the forecast, so even more excuse to enjoy the nice summer-like weekend. High temperatures this weekend will be in the 80s on Saturday and Sunday. And then I'm expecting an unsettled pattern to develop again by Tuesday of next week. That's when things start to change. So enjoy the dry spell while we've got it. Today, we're looking at high temps in the mid 70s, and we'll fall back into the 50s tonight. Overall, overnight temperatures are fairly comfortable. On Saturday, we've got numbers that are going to approach the low 80s. I am expecting 80s to be back in the forecast by Sunday. I have to at least mention the chance for some isolated showers on Saturday night. I really think they're going to be few and far between, but a few unlucky folks could get an isolated storm Saturday night before clearing out again on Sunday. I expect that we see temperatures that are still warm. Monday, temperatures will be in the mid-80s across the Ozarks, and we'll see some warm overnight lows too, with overnight lows staying in the upper 60s. So quite a change from the 50s and even 40s that we had around the last couple of nights in the Ozarks. Around the country, what's making headlines? Well, it's the first named tropical storm of the season. It's Alvin that has formed off Mexico's Pacific coast. No direct impact to land just yet. I think through the weekend we'll be okay. But there could be some landfall impacts for the Baja California area. We're watching that out in the Pacific. Anybody traveling to western portions of Mexico, you should keep a close eye on that one. Dangerous heat also expected in the southwestern United States. That's for today and Saturday. And at the same time, we've got excessive rainfall and cooler temperatures for the southern and eastern portions of the country. That is going to hold true for tomorrow as well. So a lot going on across the country. Thankfully, we kind of get a quiet pattern for the weekend. We've earned it, though. We saw our fair share of active weather in the last 7 days. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister trivia question for the day. And the question that I left you with yesterday was this: how did San Francisco's fog get the nickname Carl? Do you think A, it was named after the famous meteorologist Carl Fogarty, B, it was inspired by a character in Tim Burton's 2003 film, Big Fish. C, it was chosen by a citywide vote in 2010. Or D, it is derived from a Native American word for fog. By the way, this is Carl with a K, K-A-R-L. Carl is what those San Franciscans call their fog. And it is because B, that name is inspired by a character in Tim Burton's 2003 film, Big Fish. It did originate in 2010 when an anonymous person created the Twitter account at Carl the Fog. The name was inspired by the character Carl, a misunderstood giant, in Tim Burton's 2003 film, Big Fish. The account began posting humorous and personified updates about the fog's adventures in San Francisco, capturing the city's affection for its iconic weather phenomenon. Over time, the name Carl became widely adopted. It is unofficial, of course, what they call fog in San Francisco, but it is embraced by the locals and the media alike, and it is a playful and just kind of a charming thing that they do out there. So if you go to San Francisco, don't talk about the fog, talk about Carl showing up to disrupt things, make visibility a little bit worse. Carl. Now you know. Congrats if B was your guess. Here's a quiz question that I'll leave you with for Monday morning. Which storm name has been used most often for the first named tropical storm of the Atlantic hurricane season? This dates back since 1950. Which one is most often used? Do you think it is A, Alvin, B, Arlene, C, Alberto, or D, Arthur? You can let me know your guess. That's at aroundtheozarks.com. Thank you so much for listening on this beautiful Friday morning. After the fog burns off, I hope everyone has a great day. Enjoy the sunshine, mid-70s. We've earned it. We can get outside today and this weekend, but temps will be warmer. Enjoy the 80s and find a way to beat the heat. I'll be back to chat with you first thing Monday morning. Have a great weekend.